evening, cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome to our trailer reaction for Spencer. We'll get into all of the logistics of this in a minute, but we'll get into it. So here we go. Spencer, and go. Very neon.
Messy. All the corgis. Jesus.
Just catch that. Each one of them were labeled on what she had to do.
Oh, yeah.
Arrival, departure.
Yeah. Yep.
Ma'am? They're waiting for you.
She looks like her.
They know everything.
They don't.
And
I mean, it's not a lot, but
no, the other woman is the one from, what the heck was the name of that
I just had it up. Hold on.
movie?
It's Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins, there you
the
go.
lady.
Yeah.
And Chris Harris, who plays in the Mission Impossible, he's the big bad in all the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
He's in this too, which is going to be interesting because he always comes across as a creepy, bad guy, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued with this concept of what they're doing with the show. This movie. Is it the right time? And the reason I say this is because of The Crown. Because The Crown's dealing with all of that, and
That's not their fault.
that's true. That's true. And there's a want and a desire for everything that happened around this story.
Yeah. Well, and the oh, did you mean the show The Crown?
Yeah, the show The Crown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that
I mean, the Crown doesn't like it either, but
right. I think the anticipation and hype and stuff for this particular story in the show The Crown
Right.
has helped make the movie, because the show The Crown is not about Diana. It's about the crown, and so
Right.
they're skipping over a lot of parts. They're jumping forward, and it's the 20th anniversary of her death.
yeah.
Earlier this year, so the timing, makes sense there. I'm sure that the crown is not super happy because this whole story is not going to make them look good.
No, in this particular movie, they talked about it earlier today on SEN Live, and they were saying, doing a biography of Diana when her kids are still alive, and it's kind of tentative anyways with the Crown stuff, but the kids being alive, and what part of the story do you really tell? This particular part of the story is the night she decides that she's going to leave Charles.
Right.
And it's at the dinner and everything. And so doing a story in a single movie around a singular event,
Right.
I think is a good way to go with this particular, because I mean, you could do the entire story of Diana over 8 seasons, and
Yeah, in a show.
in a
yeah,
show.
Yeah.
I mean, and it would be amazing television, because as much as we're not royalists and in on the Anglophile stuff, we're still pretty aware of a lot of the stuff that happened with all of that.
Yeah.
And we're kind of going through the evolution of that with what they're doing with Meghan McCarthy, and how the
Markle.
Markle, thank you. I knew it started with an M with a K in there somewhere. But we're watching kind of the continuation of how kind of Diana was treated a little bit, and it's even worse with Meghan and how they had to pretty much give up being royals in the family and moving forward.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that they're doing this story, but I'm intrigued, and so I mean, you watch The Crown on a regular basis, and so...
Yeah, and I mean, I remember all of this. I remember when all of this was happening. I sat there and watched the wedding and you know, and all the drama, because I was, you know, a teenager at that point. So it was all very storybook and then, you know, very sad. But so just the kind of behind the scenes stuff that they're going through with The Crown is interesting and sad. And I mean, I wouldn't say that it's worse with Meghan. I think it's way worse with Diana. Meghan's just a stronger, more independent woman who had a career before she came into the family, and so she's like, I'm not putting up with this crap.
Right.
See you, which is why they left. Where Diana was super young. I don't even think she was 18 yet when they first met. I think she was 16 or 17 when they first met, and then came back around because he was dating her roommate a couple years later. So, you know, she was very emotionally immature to begin with, and
and she came from a small town too. She wasn't really like...
She came from a small town, but she did come from royalty. Her family wasn't completely unknown. They were just kind of like, you know, down here compared to
57th cousin to the French crown,
because it's England, and so everybody has a title if you've got enough money. But you know, so hers is more, I think her story is sadder because she couldn't get out, and then, you know, when she did, she kind of got hounded by the press to the point where she died.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how this actually goes, and if they decide to tell that part of the story 5 years down the line or whatever.
Yeah, I think that part of the story is a little harder to do with her kids still alive.
Yeah.
That's a little more insensitive. The night that she leaves him, you know, I don't know that that's insensitive to the kids. It's not.
Yeah,
you know, they know they know that she left, and
they're pretty aware of this whole story. At this
yeah,
point in
they
time,
know that she wasn't, you know, handling things well emotionally. So
right.
I don't. I think it's fine.
Some people have been when this was first announced. Some people complained that it was Kirsten Stewart from Twilight. She's known for Twilight.
Oh my God! Move on.
And
These actors are doing other things besides
right. Well, but
Twilight.
for us who are keeping track of all the movie stuff, and and we're not in the industry, but we're keeping up on it and stuff like that.
Right.
We understand that both her and
Robert
Pattinson, Hayden Christensen, him too. They both have gone on and done excellent acting jobs.
Yeah.
Beyond what happened at Twilight.
Yeah.
They got into a franchise that was hugely popular. They made a ton of money, and then they've been able to go off and kind of do what they wanted to do. And now this kind of feels like an Oscar swing. I'm not opposed to it. Everybody takes a chance at the Oscar swing with their acting and directing and storytelling or whatever.
Yeah.
My issue with this is the guy who directed this is Pablo Larraín, and he did Jackie with Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
And that movie was not well received at all. And so, and a lot of his other stuff is kind of, but it's written by Stephen Knight, and he's the one who did Taboo, Pinky Blinders, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if they stick to what Stephen is telling the story and Pablo's just adding on to it,
right,
I think I have a little bit more confidence in it than if it was just some random writer I've never heard of before doing the story and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense if he's done like Peaky Blinders and Taboo and stuff. Those are kind of more British. I mean, maybe not Taboo, but Peaky Blinders is definitely a more British story. So I guess we'll see.
We'll see. So that's our thoughts on Spencer. coming out in November.
November.
So let us know what you thought of this trailer and our reaction to it in the comments down below. Please be nice. That's a requirement around here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, follow us on all the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever else we can come up with. And until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night now.